Thanks to the wonderful trust recession that we are all currently living in and experiencing, research is showing that it is taking in between 7 and 21 unique touch points before a purchase is justifiable to be made. Now, you might be thinking, so what? Who cares? What even is a touch point? People just find my business on the internet, they call me up, schedule a service, or they come on down and they just buy my stuff instantaneously. Well, to start it off, you could treat this as if it's the dictionary. A touch point, any point of interaction, communication, or contact between a business and a customer or a prospect. Hopefully that lined up with the camera right. Just eyeballing it. I like to write stuff down when I'm learning it, so I keep it stored. So many data points out there, there's just too much information. Gotta keep the important stuff written down, right? These touch points are important because, again, we are in what is known as a trust recession. Why? Because too many businesses promised results that they could never deliver. Overnight millions, dramatic change to your physique, insurance. I don't know. So many things that people were claiming they could achieve when they never could achieve it, or putting up products for sale, and the products were never even actualized. They were never built, and they were just taking your money because they wanted a quick buck, not knowing that they could be sued, right? Now, we are in the position where we need to sell the fact that we actually deliver the results that we can deliver because we are good at our job. We run a ethical business. I fully believe that it is our moral, ethical responsibility to provide all the proof that we possibly can in order to help someone realize that we actually can solve a problem when our service can actually solve a problem. Not in the case where we can't solve a problem, right? Because then that leads into the scamming. But either here nor there, if we're not delivering these touch points, chances are people aren't just finding our businesses and coming on down, calling us up, buying without any additional information. There are many different touch points out there that they are making on their own. They're doing their own research, answering their own questions, and potentially finding our competition along the way, which isn't cool because they might be leveraging high value engagement, delivering information, saying what is needed to be said in order to drive the decision making process, and pushing us into bankruptcy. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shane. I'm coming to you live from the OpsGuard IQ headquarters, aka my home office. I am no multi-millionaire who is preparing to push a course by the end of this video. I one take all of my videos. This is take number 5 or 6. I've been awake for a long time, working. I've been diving deep into the world of AI, learning what works well, what doesn't work, putting my mental state at risk because, AI is a risky game to play. I guess all the horror stories out there. But either way, we've been leveraging what does work with the businesses that we work with in order to help them connect with their target audience and allow their target audience to feel more safe going with that business because the high value engagement is doing the reassuring that is needed to be done, creating the effect that they are the no brainer choice, the go to option in their field. And this is what the video is going to be about. How can we leverage AI to help us connect with our target audience and actually deliver the fact we're a real business that does what we say we does and ethically provide the service that we say we can provide, right? So we're just going to dive into it. Now, personally, I strongly believe, right, it might not be my own opinion, but the most powerful way that we can connect with anyone, whether it be a romantic relationship, a friendship, is through proper communication, right? And communicating what is needed to be said versus just saying what we want to say. If we're having a conversation with our friend or our partner, whatever partner, however you, whatever road you go down, right? That's not my business, but either way, if we're having a conversation, they're talking about their fears, they're talking about their dreams, their pain points, all types of personal stuff. And we're just saying, yeah, I was born in 1996 and I've been open ever since, delivering the job. It's not going to really connect with what they're telling us. They're coming to us with their problems, they're coming to us potentially for a solution. We need to lay out that we are the bridge between the pain and the solution, and we will solve the problem. And this is where the touch points come into play, the high value engagement. This is what we've used reliably to take show rates from 30% to 60% to 80%. This is how we've helped businesses who were only generating single lead months to of leads per month. And this is not to brag how we've ran the campaigns that brought in the pennies. And I'm going to share with you two very simple methods that you can use with AI to cut a lot of time and a lot of money too. Save a lot of money, make a lot of money, right? Just by feeding AI all of the information that we have on sales conversations through text messages, through emails, sales calls, recordings, maybe in person notes, whatever the case may be, as well as doing some market research, right? I got the words written up there. Now, what I'm going to dive into first is what subject matters we could be using for the high value engagement, right? A couple of common ones that any business can use is what is the number one reason as to why someone goes with your service versus an alternative option that may produce the same dream outcome or alleviate the same exact pain point. And you can think of it like this: an alternative option, right, to a tree trimming service, the old fashioned come on down with a ladder and the chainsaw, could be a man with a flamethrower just burning down trees. And you can explain why your process is better. Maybe for the environment, maybe for the neighborhood, altogether, why it's better, right? And then you can dive into what are the top 5 most frequently asked questions in sales situations that pushes leads to either run away or close the deal. You can list off everything. People do want to know the negative sides. They will research what is negative about this business. And if we're just being upfront with it, we've only had 5 cases where somebody said they didn't achieve their dream outcome out of 10,000. Then it might be a little bit better than just saying we've helped 10,000 people lose 70 pounds, right? Whatever the case may be. When do people feel like quitting or that doubt starts creeping in? When is that a mistake to make? When should the first point of satisfaction start to occur? When will the value start to be achieved, right? Certain things about the process that people want to know. They will go out there and do their own research on it. And of course, these are just examples. You probably know more about what goes on with your process than I do with this vague understanding of not even knowing who's watching right now. So, but it's just an idea, right? And then we can apply it to an AI, even a regular chat model. You can give the entire breakdown to it. Doesn't have to be an actual agent. It'll read everything, analyze everything, and give you bullet points. What comes up the most? What should you talk about more often? And where can we put it in? Website, thank you page, follow-up sequence. Very important for the funnel. People land on your website. Hopefully you have some type of thank you page in place, and hopefully you have some type of follow-up sequence. I mean, nowadays people don't even have websites up. They just have the Google business pages up, which is, hey, neither here nor there, right? If you don't want that much business, then yeah, go that way. But if you do want a lot of business, at least having these 3 up will help, right? So the next way that I like to look at things is through market research. What's going on in the overall market? For example, I have this tool that automatically looks up what's going on in the fields that I am working in, right? Content, AI, marketing, as well as ad platforms. Just looking up what's going on. Are there changes to the meta ads? Are there changes to the Google ads, right? Are there compliance changes? Whatever the case may be. And it gives me reports, shows me like the top 3 reports for every field, and I can leverage that in my personal knowledge. I can leverage it in my engagement methods, in my communication. And you can use that pretty simply for I'm sure there's got to be a way you can do it with every service out there. What's going on in my market right now? What are the top 10 failures? Why do people always fail with this? Why do people not do this right? Why do people do this wrong, right? You get the gist of it. And then what we do is we transform our current digital assets. So to be completely transparent, AI isn't necessarily doing all of this for us. It's helping us find the correct subject matter, right? What are people's fears? What are people's most common pain points? You might be able to identify this on your own without using AI, but if you're a busy bee, you're nonstop working, run it through AI. It'll help you come up with some better talking points or high value engagement with your website, your thank you page, your follow up sequence. and we can turn it into a sales funnel, right? Take your website, get rid of the digital brochure, and make it a sales page. Actually list off how you are the bridge between the problem and the solution versus just a big "this is about us" page, right? Then the thank you page, instead of just a confirmation and a thank you for scheduling your appointment, here's what you can expect moving forward within the next 72 hours, within the next 96 hours. This is when you can expect the first point of satisfaction, right? We're going to be sending out emails. Check your spam folder. Might land in spam. We've never interacted before. Everybody knows with Gmail, if you've never interacted with someone before, there's a high chance that that email may land in spam. If you're sending out confirmation emails from a Gmail or from your personal domain, there's a possibility that the email will land in spam when somebody opted in for your services, and everything will be missed. Then for the follow-up sequence, instead of just a simple confirmation email, a day before and a day of follow-up sequence, we're going to expand it, right? And what will this look like over time? Let's look at some math, because math runs the world, I think. If we're generating 100 visitors per month and the regular website is pushing 10% to convert without a thank you page and a confirmation email the day before and the day of follow-up sequence, what's likely to occur out of the 10% that converted? Maybe 5 show up, 50% show up, right? We're not really reminding anybody, we're not delivering any value, any engagement, right? But if we move on to a sales page where it's much more engaging, we're actually talking to the pain points, handling objections, even preventing them, might push 20%. We might double what converts. Then move on to the what you can expect page. Great way to start off the high value engagement if we're not, maybe have a VSL on the sales page. The what you can expect page is the most underutilized asset in the sales funnel in today's day and age. I don't know why people don't want to give more value after somebody just made that first commitment. This is the part where the hesitance starts to creep in. This is the part where people start thinking, I need to do some research. This is where we can really nail some things, start sharing what are the 5 most frequently asked questions. What are the answers to those questions too, right? Not just list off the questions itself. Then we move on to the follow-up sequence upgrade, which is known as the indoctrination sequence. Learned it from the great Jeremy Haynes, but it's a better way to do follow-up, right? Instead of just saying, hey, your appointment is still scheduled for tomorrow, we're going to be sharing some information on what to expect. What is the true pain that we're actually solving? What's some reframing on the problem that is going on, right? And that might result in 18 show-ups per month. Of course, we're never going to get a full 20% to show up from the original 100 visitors, or a full 10% from the original 100 visitors, simply because there's always going to be that 2 to 3, 20 to 30% of what converted that never was going to show up in the first place. They just opted in because they had a brief moment of motivation, and no matter what you say, it doesn't matter, right? And then there's always going to be someone who maybe found something more important, something more of value that undermines or overwhelms, outweighs what is scheduled, whatever your appointment is, and they just won't show up. Maybe they'll reschedule, maybe they won't. Who knows, right? People just are iffy now and then, right? So yeah, that's what I got. This is how we can use AI to help close more deals and convert more people through market research, analyzing what is going on in our sales conversations, text messages, email back and forths, whatever the case may be, and actually using it in the touch points that we have or don't have and are starting to have. The touch points can be used as frequently as it proves to work, right? I'm currently in the process of going with something from a company, and I'm being reached out to constantly, twice a day through SMS, once through email for the past 7 days, and they are staying at the top of mind. I can't forget about them because they don't let me, and they will be who I go with when I decide to actually do it. I just don't have the time to start right now, but that's who I'm going to go with, because they are delivering the information that I need to hear, that this is going to work for me, because they're sharing the proof. They're sharing before and afters. They're sharing all types of stuff. So that's what we need to do. We need to share the proof. At the end of the day, we're talking to people. They want to resonate with befores and afters, other people who actually went through the process. And it's important that we do that. I think it's our moral responsibility, our ethical responsibility to actually try to connect with everybody out there who may be suffering from the problem that we can solve. That's my take. If you're not using AI in your business, that's on you. It can do many things for you. What a hard sell. What a great sell, right? So yeah, I'm starting to ramble. I'm starting to think it's time to get some more work done. That's one of my main problems when I'm doing this content stuff. I start thinking, I need to do more work. I need to get more work done as I'm sharing what processes I'm thinking about in my day to day life. So, yeah, talking to a camera is weird too. I see my eyes moving, wandering everywhere. I guess I'll get used to it, because content is a great way. If you're not in the content game yet, content is a great way to produce meaningful touch points. I don't know how meaningful mine are. I'm not sure if I'm articulating my points correctly, if I look weird talking with my hands too much. Got a lot of stuff to work on, but I'm practicing. So that's all I got. Hopefully I provided some value to you that you can apply to your business, and I didn't just ramble on for 15 to 20 minutes and waste your time. And there will be more content being uploaded, how AI can improve your current processes in the future. Stick around, hit the subscribe button or the like button, or hit the dislike button twice if you didn't like the video. Comment down below what your goals are for your business, and maybe we can connect and get some shit done. That's all I got. Signing off. Pressing the button.